everyone, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly horoscope. My name is Terence Scardino. Last week was more progressive, playful, upbeat, lots of opportunities. This week, you need to be cautious. You might even hit a wall, and so you don't want to be overextended. All right, what am I talking about? Ambitious, assertive Mars is now going retrograde. Been talking about this for a while. It goes retrograde every 2 years. It's retrograding for the next 2 months, from June the 26th through August the 27th. Now, Mars is the warrior planet in mythology. Mars is ambitious, aggressive, wants to conquer the world, always wants to be restless and moving forwards. When it's retrograde, it means that when you're looking through a telescope, it appears to be going backwards, which means that all that Martian energy, that ambitious energy, is turning inward. Well, that could just mean that any major work projects are now slowing down, or it's time to take a break and step back and re-look at it and make some adjustments. Often though, when Mars, and particularly this week that Mars is going retrograde, whatever you've been working on Mars, desiring Mars, seems like you're now swimming against the current. Think of it as now you're pushing a boulder up the hill, or it's going to take a lot more effort for the same results. A couple of things that all astrologers will mention during a Mars in retrograde. It's a little warrior planet. You don't want to go to war against a country or against, with a divorce settlement or any legal action. You don't want to file a lawsuit during Mars in retrograde because it will turn against you or it won't be worth the effort. But if you should get sued during Mars in retrograde, it's turning against them. Mars, being a warrior planet, it deals with tools and cutting and injuries, and there might be more accident-prone energies around the world, but it's also advised don't have elective surgery because with elective surgery you can do it any time. And during Mars in retrograde, it's not always going to be bad, but there's a more possibility that it's just you're not going to be happy with the results, or it's going to have to be repeated, or you set up this whole schedule and then the doctor cancels it at the last minute, and it's just all this aggravating energy. But usually at your job, you might be feeling more tired, more frustrated, more irritable. And that's starting strong on the 26th, on Tuesday. And what is really intensifying this energy is on Wednesday, it's the full moon. And the full moon brings a lot of emotions to a head. And it can be a time of endings, particularly when relationships. At the same time, that full moon is aligned with Saturn. The Saturn is aligned with the moon, and so that Sun-Saturn, could be all this separation, feeling really frustrated, it's all this heaviness. So this Tuesday, Wednesday, not a good day to be giving birth to a new project. Even you don't even want to be looking for a job or pitching a business meeting. The energy is just swirling and going against everybody, and there just might irritability and ego disputes are more prone to explode. So we just need to center ourselves, go take a long walk in nature if that's possible for you. meditate or just center yourself. And don't really engage with all the business of the world, because that could be triggering a lot of ego conflicts. Now, prior to all of that, on Monday, the 25th, Venus, desirous Venus is in tension with expansive Jupiter. So this could be when you're overindulging. And that might be part of where you spend too much money, or you maybe just drank too much alcohol, and then the next day you're regretting it and you're feeling all frustrated, and then the bill comes in, by Wednesday, and you're just like, what was I doing? Everything in moderation. Really pace yourself till you get into this rhythm with the Mars in retrograde. There's a lot of positive in that Mars is all these working on projects. So this is a time to revise, retool, step back, relook at it, get a second opinion, or maybe just slow it down a bit, take more of a break, so you can get a better perspective at a later time. By Saturday, communication Mercury, decision-making Mercury, is going to be in a hard angle to rebellious, liberating Uranus. In the positive, this Mercury could be this aha moments, this, oh, I get it, and these unexpected insights, almost like these psychic flashes. But it can also, on a more mundane level, is when it comes to communications and making decisions, that everything just seems so fluctuating. So if it doesn't easily, some insight doesn't easily just spark, like this spark of genius and insight, if it doesn't come effortlessly and you're feeling agitated and Mars is retrograde, just go get away, save it for another day, and take a nice long walk. So this is, got to just pace yourself through this week and not make any kind of major new decisions like starting jobs, starting businesses, some kind of big project, etc. Until you get into this rhythm. Now, before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for the one-question offer for a nominal fee, and you can find a direct link in the description box underneath the video. And the time of birth is really important, and also if you could put the birth information back in with the question, that'll make sure that I have it accurately. Okay, I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until next week, just breathe, and this too shall pass.